How you doing?
All
It's
right.
been ages, man.
I know.
I'm so
Um,
excited.
I've been really good. You asked the question, how am I doing? Um, Decent. I mean, yeah, I switched programs from nursing to business marketing, and it's way better.
Yeah.
Nursing is a hell program. It's so hard. Um, and then I was like so ready this year to like focus on integrating like my education and what I'm doing online together.
hmm
And it was going that way, but then pandemic obviously, but
The worst.
business is so fun.
It's so much
Yeah.
fun. I'm not even in the business program. I'm in a communications program, which it just kind of follows like all the stuff that you'd be doing on a daily kind of thing and like the analysis of it.
Yeah.
But you're like, wow, like it COVID really, even in just like looking at your perspective, it's like, what happened? It's ridiculous.
Oh, I know. I took a media communications class and I enjoyed it. It was my best class last semester,
hmm
um, out of all the core classes, but yeah, they're pretty similar. But literally what happened, like I haven't talked to you in like a long
It's been at
time.
least a year. It feels like
Yeah,
at least
no,
like an actual conversation ages. It's weird
yeah,
because like everybody we did the little Maple Crew thing for a little bit, right? We tried to do a little TikTok group.
yeah, we did.
You kept doing TikTok. I kind of retired. I faded out of it. I got a little bored. Needed to do some other
Yeah.
things. But like, what's been going on? What's been different? Like, I saw a bunch of sponsored ads. Like, you're doing some big brand deals and like some exciting things.
Yeah, so actually today, oh, this is so weird. Today's my anniversary of being signed.
hmm
So I got signed this day last year. Um, so um so like 2019, early 2020, there wasn't really a lot of brands launching on TikTok still.
hmm
But then this year, this past 2021 and like late 2020 through the summer, a bunch of brands, like I was on the first launch for like Samsung campaigns,
I saw that. I was
Spotify
like,
campaigns.
what is happening? This is insane.
I know. And like the thing is that like it's like these companies haven't even done it before. So like we're brand new to TikTok.
hmm
And this is what I liked about it too. Like I got a lot of creative control with all the ads that I was doing and that I'm
hmm
still doing. So like they're basically like, we're new to TikTok. This is your avenue. Just please use this song, show the
hmm
product, and then whatever you do, like just do you because that seems to do well. And so like that was really nice. But um ever since I got signed, I highly recommend it to anyone. Like no matter how many followers you have, like once you're past like the 100K mark, or even less like on Instagram, if you have like 5K on Instagram, you can still get signed, and like it really makes life easier and like easier to get connections and like get a
hmm
steady income from online.
So how does that work? Like the whole signing process. Like for you, say someone has 10K followers, they have a
Yeah.
consistent growth kind of thing. They get signed, and then like what do they do? Like you said, connections and that type of stuff. Like what happens?
Yeah, so like there's a bunch of new agencies starting out. So my agency is called like Henry Talents,
Shout
and
out.
I'm biased, but they're an amazing team. And they're under Image Motion, which is like has been almost like a long time media marketing management company. And then they finally branched off into like their own TikTok division, like a month ago. So basically, what happens is like they have TikTok talent, Instagram talent, YouTube talent, and they have like connections. So like they have people that like are in touch with like Kanye's people. And
hmm
then like if Kanye West drops a song, then Kanye's people will be like, oh, we need to reach out to a marketing agency
hmm
that has talent. So then they're like the middleman
hmm
between clients and the creator.
Yeah.
Um, and so like it's just like they have the connections. And then also it's a lot easier because let's say you have like 10K on IG, right?
hmm
Like some people may think like, oh, that's not like a big deal, but in reality it is. Like it can
That's
be
half
really
my hometown.
lucrative.
That's ridiculous. Like
Yeah,
my hometown was
really?
21,000 people. That's scary to think 10K.
Holy.
Yeah, it's small town. So
Yeah,
it's like
like
that's a big
it's a
number.
lot of people.
hmm
And it's like you can do a lot with it. And I just think like if you have like a name behind you, a company behind you, it gives you like credibility with other brands. So, like instead of you just being
hmm
like, hello, my name is Cassidy, I charge $50 for this, even though like that's not a good rate. if you have a company being like, hello, good afternoon, her flat fee rate is this, and here's her media kit, and here's what she's done, and then you have it all written down on paper, then they're like, oh, okay, this person's serious, like we can't fool them, because they have like, and you can definitely do that on your own, but just working with the company, I've gained the experience to like know like that's what you need. Yeah.
Because I remember when we did that, like the group chat thing, a bunch of the people in that group, they were working with one company. They all were working with the same company. I think you were doing the same thing too. And they all had different rates because one person asked for one thing and they had like the least amount of followers. And then someone with the biggest amount of followers got like $100.
Oh my God.
You remember that?
Listen, yes, it's come back. Like it
really?
Okay, that was, can I say like the brand name?
Go for it.
I don't know.
Odom, that's yeah.
So that was H&M. H&M, like the clothing brand, and Jones Media. So listen, I had dealings with them 2 weeks ago. Like this has gone on. So basically, me and Liv Fink, she was, you know, in the Maple Crew or whatever. Me, her, and Juan Romero, the other Canadian TikToker, we all did a campaign, and like she got like $400 and she has, I don't know, like 200K, and then I had $1 million and I got like $150, and then this Juan guy got like $1,000, and then it took them 6 months to pay us. Okay,
that's ridiculous. I would be so mad at that.
Then I worked with them again. So the Maple Crew was like done, right?
Yeah, we were. It was like, that was a quick run.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. But I was like, so like we were out of that. I wasn't really talking to anyone. So June, H&M comes back to me. They're like, hey, we worked with you last time, and I'm like, where's my money, please? Yeah. So then after they paid me, I was like, okay, I'll do it again. I just got paid 9 months later for H&M, like 2 weeks ago. I just got paid for something I did 9 months ago.
I guess it is that big. Like, I'm trying to think from like the brand's perspective of like how big it is. Like H&M's huge, right?
Yeah.
But you'd think if they're that big, they would have some level of organization. Like it's an Interac e-transfer.
Exactly. It was
like,
a PayPal.
It's not that hard.
No, it was a PayPal.
Oh my God, that's even better.
Yeah, like it was just easy, and I don't know. So I've kind of written that off my list, but I'm like, I know for sure now that like the stuff that happened with all of us having different rates, like it probably happens to a lot of other people that work with them.
Yeah, that seems super sketchy. Like especially like because it's more like to a targeted audience, right? Like because you're more younger kids because you're like more of a dance, like hair, fashion kind of person, right?
Yeah.
And like so, do they like H&M's a perfect market for that, right? But they're kind of like gonna rip you off if they can, I guess.
Yeah, that's kind of how it was. Like the difference between my rate for the first time they worked with me when I wasn't with my company compared to the second time was like ridiculous, and they had no questions asked. Like they told me like, oh, your value is $150, Cassidy, and I was like, maybe not. But then the second time around, when I had the company with me, they're like, okay, like that's fine, we'll do that deal.
Yeah, we're gonna 10x whatever you're like. That's
exactly.
That's actually crazy how important it is to have a signed backer then, right?
Yeah, or just like having your own knowledge. And like I find there's a lot of people on TikTok now that like educating
people about that thing.
But you just gotta like look for it. It's definitely not something that came naturally to me, like negotiating and talking, like speaking up for yourself.
Yeah, well, also like most of the people on TikTok and like the influencers, like it's 18 and under, right? Like there's kids that could be making hundreds of thousands of dollars, but they're 14 and they don't understand how to negotiate unless they have a partner that can actually do it for them, right?
Exactly. And I was just thinking with like younger creators too, you got to be careful because not everyone has like really supporting parents or people that they live with. So like I feel like some kids could be taken advantage of, or like it's been seen with like Daniel Cohen and Malu, like they've been so young.
Yeah.
And their parents are like, oh, like you make more than me. So then they're like, okay, you pay for the house, you pay for the internet, you pay for this, and take their money. Like it's such a weird new issue that has arisen.
It's super scary to see that too, right? Because like I couldn't imagine like having like being 14 and then having your parents throw all that responsibility on you? Because like, what happens if you don't
Oh,
want to make TikToks? What happens if you don't like?
exactly.
What happens if Charlie D'Amelio doesn't want to dance anymore? They're not gonna
And
pay.
then
They're not
like
gonna be able to pay rent in that $4 million, like the $1 million house they're living in. That's ridiculous.
exactly, like it all lays on the kid, which I just think isn't fair, and like explains why some influencers now, like people have hate trains on them for like the way that they've acted, but I'm like, if you look back at their past, they were prematurely given all this attention and responsibility, so
That's a
not
really
all their
good.
fault.
That's a really good point of view, actually. Because sometimes, yeah, you got to look at it like in the way grander scheme of things. Because yeah, I didn't even. That's a really damn. That's a good point. Because
Yeah.
there's definitely some kids you've seen on TikTok that are like now they're older. Even like Jake Paul. Like you can see now he's all
Yeah,
crazy. He's
me
doing
too.
some crazy stuff. He was a Disney kid. Him and
He
his brother
was,
both. Yeah, which is like scary to
which is
think.
so weird.
Yeah, they like. There's a lot. Even like Bella Thorne. Like she was a Disney kid as well, right? And then
And now she's
doing
like
she's in the
completely,
adult film industry. So it's like
yeah.
there's you so like people just go so many different ways and you can never gauge where they're going, especially on TikTok with the like rapid growth, right?
No, you can't. And you got to keep it going. That's something that I'm always talking about with other creators is like, shadow ban this, like how do I keep my views up? How do I and we're all like freaking out
Mm-hmm.
internally because like a lot of
It's just
people grow
competitive.
so fast.
Mm-hmm.
And then like yeah, it's saturated now too and just like keeping the momentum with your page and stuff is kind of hard. But yeah, it's always on my mind. It's kind of stressful, especially being a pandemic. Like, all you have time to do is like create and do school. It's like it's even more
And it's like
pressure.
it's so difficult because like for me at least, I'm currently in a dorm room. My
Wow,
roommates, yeah, I'm in a dorm room right now.
nice dorm.
Yeah, we got upgraded. Thank you,
Yeah,
COVID. Like that's the best thing. Like we were supposed to have
that's
like
nice.
tiny rooms. We got a TV here. I was trying to put my logo up, but I couldn't. I'm kind of sad. But yeah, my roommate's in the next room studying for 3 midterms in one day, and I'm just sitting here doing a podcast. And it's just like I could be doing this in person with someone, but COVID's blocked that out. So like, how does COVID like affected your creative process of like coming up with new ideas, going finding other like creators at all? Like I feel like it'd be pretty detrimental to.
Exactly. And like I I cannot ignore I can't I don't want to say ignore COVID, but like I
Yeah,
still want to like chase the bag and
yeah.
chase like
Get
meeting
the
other
bag, secure it.
creators and like doing this and that. Like I wanted to visit Liv and Drew because I'm
Mm-hmm.
still friends with them. Um, and just like I know that there's some creators that are still traveling, and I'm like, damn, like I could be doing that. I could be making friends with you right now. Like we could be hanging out,
Yeah.
but then I really don't want to risk it.
Mm-hmm. It's
So
also
it's basically
big like
yeah,
personal image kind of thing, right? Because like sometimes, especially if you have a younger audience, you also some people aren't conscious of that, and you can see them going to like big massive parties in LA. Like a lot of the
yeah,
like I see on my Snapchat feed like whenever TikTokers pop up, I click them. I'm like, what are they doing? Let's see what's happening. It's entertaining to see, and you're
it
like,
is.
you're in Orlando, but you're in LA the other day, and now you're in Texas, and you're like traveling all over the place, but it's also business, so technically it makes sense, which is super weird how that whole thing works out. And like it's so different from the States from Canada, right?
Yeah, it doesn't. Like when the border closed, I was in a group chat with some bigger American TikTokers. I don't even know how I got in there.
Yeah.
Um, but we were talking about how there was other creators too. So like the border closed between Canada and America. And then one girl in the chat was like, "Oh, like someone from Canada's here." And I'm like, what? Because she was in America. And I'm like, how? Like the border's closed. And then I found out that like TikTokers are saying, oh, it's for business. Like it's a necessary, they have
Necessary
necessary
travel.
work to do.
Yeah, I remember seeing
Which,
it. There's one TikToker that I was familiar with, and I was like friends with, and I knew that they were in Canada at the time, and then they went to LA, and I'm like, damn, bro. Like I don't know. That's I guess it does work out for business though, because you're gonna get taxed for it, right? So
exactly. I just think it's all about like personal risk.
Mm-hmm.
It's really a choice. But
It's a moral
America,
question, right?
yeah, America's like a COVID hotspot. Well, everywhere is, but
Yeah.
it's definitely
It's scary. Like it's for even in res, it's super safe for me. You at home or how's
I'm
studying
at
at home?
home.
How's studying at home? Is that tiring?
Don't even. It's
Sorry.
I've been trying to figure out if there's a word. Okay, so like being a senior in high school, right? You get senioritis,
Yeah.
like the last few. Is
Mhm.
there a word for like March where everyone just like drops and like struggles with motivation? Because like this March, ever since like March 1st when it hit, I like have found it so hard to just sit through my classes. So like
Mhm.
I only sit through like one if I have three. I can't focus. I just watch YouTube and do work at the same time now, which I never used to do.
Mhm. I do
Um,
the same thing. I watch
it's bad.
podcasts. I just have
Yeah.
like some comedy podcast playing when my philosophy teacher is trying to break down Plato, and I'm like, I'm gonna watch the podcast because this lady is trying to draw a rock and it looks like a box. Like you'll just have weird experiences, and especially some of the professors just they haven't mastered the tech
No,
stuff yet.
there should there should be next year if it's online, there has to be a teaching standard like that
Mm-hmm.
has to be met or like a limit. Like teachers have to be evaluated
Mm-hmm.
because some of the things they're doing are illegal. Like I know I have a friend that's in a class and literally like the TAs are teaching, like the teacher's assistants.
Yeah,
Like
that happened to me
they
last
don't
semester.
yeah, the prof doesn't say a word. Like the
Mm-hmm.
TAs just literally mark everything, tell them like what to do. It just it's like a vacation for some teachers because they don't have to do any work.
Some, especially when they're on tenure too. Some of them like they can
Oh
do whatever
yeah.
they want. Like so, I had one of my teachers. I don't want to out her because she was amazing. She was a fun teacher to have.
Oh.
But I definitely think the class was better with the TA because
Mm,
the TA actually had like experience, like he worked in like the political sphere of like the communication side, and I was like, this is super. So the kid was more interesting than the teacher,
oh,
which is I was like, oh wow, this is very very interesting, and it's like
beneficial
sometimes
then.
it works out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
So
curious.
like
We never actually talked about this. You do
what?
competitive shooting, right?
I do.
That's so sick. That's so cool.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so I I have had it in my bio since I was like 13.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't post about it a lot because I don't get to go to the range a lot. Like yes
Mm-hmm.
and no, I do go, but I've been doing it since I was 8.
Yeah.
Um, and basically before that I did archery. So when I was like
Mm-hmm.
6, 5, 5 to 7, I did archery. Then it got too expensive, so then we moved to shooting. My dad's a police officer, so he's like a firearms
Yeah.
instructor.
Yeah.
I don't know,
He's all the
credentials,
way up.
man.
He's got everything.
Yeah, so he's always liked to shoot because it's like a part of his job, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So then we're 8. There's actually a club here where I live called like junior shooters.
Mm-hmm.
So like all the way from the ages of 4 to 18, you can shoot. We just shoot pellet rifles and then 22s. And then when I was about 13, I shot in competitions with adults.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like shooting moving with pistols, or like you'll have like a 3-gun course. So you do like shotgun,
Yeah.
rifle, and pistol. And then actually about that this year, was
I want to
it
see
in
some vlogs. I want
November?
to see some vlogs of this because this stuff's it's so
I
interesting.
need more. No, literally, like on my Instagram, whenever I post a video of me shooting,
Mm-hmm.
the comments are, "Is that a real gun?" Like,
Yeah. Well,
like
it is
is
colorful, right? Like it's one of the custom
yeah,
ones.
I
So
have like
it doesn't look familiar. It doesn't look like a normal like police officer's firearm. It's like it's
yeah,
crazy built up,
no.
right?
I got like pink grips on, and I have pink earmuffs and like a
That's so
pink
sick.
holster, pink belt. Um, but yeah,
If
no, it's
Barbie
really
had a
fun.
pistol, if
And
Barbie had a Glock.
Barbie had a pistol. That's me. So I want to get some like new tactical gear,
Mm-hmm.
like just some like cool pants, some spandex like shirts and stuff, so I can like look the part. Maybe
Yeah.
post more videos because like they always seem to do really well.
Well, I
And
think
like
it's
this year I
character though.
got
Like it's so interesting.
yeah, I don't know. Many people don't think of it, and I think it's so funny because like young men I don't want to like
No,
call it
that's
like a
true. No, that's true.
like
Because
young.
like young men love guns. They play Call of
Yes,
Duty. I grew up
exactly,
knowing every type of gun, every caliber, every like how
exactly.
far certain sniper bullets can travel. Like that's like it's young guys love guns.
And it's funny because like whenever I've like made new friends, like last year in university, they be talking about like, oh, like this and this, like guns, and I don't know all my facts. I just shoot, right?
Yeah.
But then my friend would be like, oh yeah, Cassidy shoots, and they'd be like, whoa, like what? They're like, no, you don't, and I'm like, yeah, like
Just pull out
it's
a
normal.
record time. Just show them your fastest streak.
Honestly, no, I pull up the videos and I'm like, look, like, and it's kind of hard to get into. It's not hard to get into. It's hard to like I just got my license last year,
Like restricted
firearms
firearms, or
license,
like just normal
restricted
ones.
to, yeah,
Yeah.
so I can shoot pistols as well. And I got verified for a black badge course, which is like it's like IPSC shooting. So like it's like a provincial and national type of shooting. So now I can compete in like matches if I get really good, like across
So
Canada.
so what guns would they be shooting there? Like that would just I'm thinking that what's the ski with the gun thing? It's not one of those things, is it? It's not like
Oh,
one of or is it like a 9 millimeter, like the same guns
no,
you're shooting?
yeah. So like there's different classes. So there's open, there's revolver.
That's so
There's
cool.
really there's really strict rules in IPSC shooting. So like there's 5 different classes. So basically open, you can
hmm
shoot whatever you want. Like you can deck out your gun, you can modify it.
hmm
Revolver's just revolver. One of the ones that has to be like a certain caliber, so like
hmm
9 millimeter. It's all optional, but what I shoot is an MMP 9 millimeter. So it's like a Glock, but not. And it's like my favorite gun to shoot because I've been shooting it since I was like 12.
Yeah.
Um, so my dad tried to sell it actually.
You got mad?
Um, I was very mad. He's like, I can get you a better one. I'm like, no, I don't want a better one. I need my pink gun.
That's
But
awesome.
yeah,
That's actually
so
so interesting though.
it's been a big part of my childhood, and it's like a little family bonding with my dad and stuff. So like on special occasions, I'm like, hey, you want to shoot, pops?
Yeah.
And then we'll go shoot. So it's like a nice little thing.
That seems really nice. And it's like
Yeah.
so many people are like scared. There's like a big like stigma around guns and like just shooting them too. And a lot of people just don't kind of understand. Like I've only shot guns once, but I was with my uncle who's a police
Mm,
officer, and it was in the most safe environment.
yeah.
Like the first shot, you're scared. You're really, really scared.
Yes. The
And
recoil, uh-huh.
yeah, so I started with his police issued pistol, which was like an old, it was like a
Oh
kind of like
my.
a it was really it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. But then he stepped me up and gave me a shotgun with
Good.
slugs. He did,
Oh no.
yeah, he was a savage. He was so sick. He set the shotgun up
Over.
and he put bird shot, then then a slug. So he was like, all right, learn how to shoot. Boom, boom. And then he was like, all right, this one's gonna hurt. And I was like, wait a minute, what? And it was like an old
Oh
Remington.
no.
It had the big wooden stock, and it hurt. So I pulled the
That
trigger,
hurt.
boom, and my arm just felt like it broke. I'm like, oh my God, that was so fun. It's like that
Yeah.
first big shock. You're like,
I
whoa,
don't
this
like
is insane.
it hurts. Like I don't
Mhm.
like shooting shotguns specifically for the recoil. So I do a little trick where I just like put it like in my arm.
Mhm.
It I don't know. So the
So
recoil
it
doesn't
like
go
bounces back a
in
bit.
my shoulder, which isn't good. And like,
No.
yeah, exactly.
I've seen
So
so
yeah,
many
safety is like a
shotgun
huge
videos.
thing.
Yeah, it is. It totally is. And it's a lot of people are super scared. Even like talking to people at university about it, they're like really scared about it a lot of the time.
It's like the thing is that like our political social climate has changed because if you look at a lot of the high schools, even my high school, they have shooting ranges.
At the
Like you
high
can look
school,
like there's locked doors. Yes, maybe
that's
even
a
the high school
cultural
you went
thing.
to had a shooting range. Yeah,
No way my school had a shooting range.
so many high. I would look into it because my school had a shooting range, and a lot of schools here had shooting ranges. They're like locked doors, right?
That must be an up
And
north
like
thing, man.
no
High
one
school is
knows.
small.
You think so?
No, yeah, that must be a northern
Okay,
thing because
well,
Southern Ontario, man, they're scared. They're like, not a chance.
no.
No, no way.
Okay, maybe it was
I'll look at
here
if it's
because
got to be north because there's no
look
way.
into it.
I will. If there was, I'm like, what? What is this high school with
Like
so much
some
color?
in a lot of places, Yeah, in Canada, there used to be shooting teams, like at the school, like rifle shooting teams. And my dad was saying that when he went to university in New Brunswick,
Mm-hmm.
you could have like your pistol. If you had like a gun, you can keep it at the front desk on res. Like, you know where like you go in for res and
What?
like there's like a front desk there? Yeah, they keep
No.
it for you in a lock safe. Yeah,
Okay, that's
like it's so
different.
different now.
That's so weird though. Like even to
Given
think,
what's
even like now there's a bill that they're trying to ban airsoft guns.
Oh, really?
Did you hear about that?
No, I didn't.
There's this new build going in, and they're like trying to change the restriction of air like pistols, like so like pellet guns, airsoft guns, and paintball guns, because if they look too realistic, it's too threatening or something super weird, and it doesn't really make any
Oh.
sense because like I guess it's just super stigmatized.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about that. I feel like if they're in a controlled environment, like in like a backyard or like a paintball range, and if you're not like just running on the streets with them, then it's fine. But no,
Yeah.
I that's news to me.
Well, most of them have orange tips on them anyways, right? So it's like, why are you so scared of what is it, paint
Yeah,
or a little plastic BB? When the worst it can do, sting,
exactly.
which is silly. But I honestly, I like the idea of you doing like competitive shooting vlogs. I think that'd be because it's a different,
Vlogs.
it's a big part of you, right? Like just as a human,
Yeah.
like that you grew up doing it, and nobody really is into like not like well, I'm saying people are into it, but people don't know that about you, right? They know you got the water gun and the competitive shooter thing in your Instagram bio, but other than
They
that,
don't
that's
see
really
it.
interesting.
Yeah, I feel like it might give me an edge for sure. Especially I've never thought of doing a vlog. Like that'd be sick if I had like a little YouTube and I'd like do a down the range with me. And also like
I'm watching.
yeah. See, I already got a viewer.
There you go.
But like even just women in a lot of things aren't present. So like there's not a lot of women in shooting.
Yeah, that's
So
so
like
true.
seeing a young woman in shooting
Hmm.
would be um
I like that. That's
yeah,
it could be really big. I like that idea a lot. I think, yeah,
it could
honestly,
be.
because it's total. It represents you as a person and your community in that sense, right? Where you can go, I'm doing this. I don't know about shooting ranges in schools. It seems super foreign, um, but I like that idea. Have you ever like what have you thought about like expanding out of like TikTok to like different like moving your audience to different places?
So I've been trying to get it over to my Instagram. I've been trying to do YouTube and I've talked to people like getting a YouTube editor is the way to go, like someone to edit your videos because it cuts
Yeah.
down the time. So it's like always a constant goal of mine to like spread my audience to other avenues, but it
Hmm.
really is a hard thing to do. But one thing that I wanted to do that I have to start doing is like focusing on my hair. It's kind of where I'm wanting to go more hair and beauty.
Hmm.
So like on Instagram, I wanted to repost my hair videos on Reels and on YouTube, like a lot of like curly hair type videos do really well.
Hmm.
So I was thinking like beauty and wellness, which should be an
Huge
easy route.
audience.
It's a huge audience, but I could also like throw in some shooting in there. It'd be like,
Well, because
I
that
don't know.
works. Well, the one thing you got to watch out about is like, especially in like what I've been looking at a lot, like within school, is the over sexualization of Instagram influencers. Right? They get to that point where they
Oh,
can't, yeah, they can't grow their audience unless they start revealing more and more skin, which is like super scary and a super toxic thing that the world does. But if you replace
yes.
that, pardon you, what were you gonna say?
No, I'm just like, I realize what you're saying now. Yes, I talked about this other day.
Insane,
Yeah,
right?
I've noticed it
What
too.
would you say? What did you say yesterday? I'm interested in your take on that.
So I was just saying now how it's absolutely ridiculous how if you're on TikTok, right? And you can make like funny videos. You can be a girl, you can make funny videos. You can even be a guy
Hmm.
and like make like your niche video. And then you'll do really well. Like let's say you got like a run of like this one dude, he made like really weird just like they were good videos and he was on a run of like 8 million, 11 million, 10
Hmm.
million views, right? And he should have had like 500K followers just from having that good run. But since he wasn't conventionally attractive, he only had 100K. after such a good run like that. And just the thing about like female influencers, once you get to a point where like you've done your niche, but now people like want more, like it's like what you're doing isn't working for you fully clothed. So then you got to throw on a crop top, you got to throw on like a little booty shake to the side. The app keeps on getting more and more sexual, and I don't really like that that route that it's taking. Like it's like a mixture between sexual and pretty privilege, and I think that among
That's a good
kids,
point. Yeah, that's scary that kids are getting to that level.
it's weird because if you look at some of the biggest people on the app right now, like Olivia Pontoon, Sienna Mae Gomez, not really Charlie, but those two are like, they're influencers for body positivity. But again, they have great personalities, but they're 16 and all of their videos consist of them in a bikini, and kids are eating this up. But the only reason why kids are eating this up is because like in our society, even to kids, it's ingrained that like showing off your skin is like empowering and will make you popular, and like it's in everyone's mind. Like it's like a pre-written thing that like sex sells. It's always been a thing. Sex sells to large audiences.
It's so ridiculous, especially like the fact that kids are so young on that app. Like my younger cousin who is like 8 is on TikTok, and I'm like, man, I've been on this app for a long time. And by that, I mean, I've been there for a year or 2 years at this point. And I'm like, man, I gotta talk to my aunt about this, because some of the stuff, make sure it's on like the parental controls and all that stuff, because it's so 50-50. You can ride the line and get in some weird algorithm hole, like in deep, weird tracks.
The iPad got to be taken away put on child lock.
Yeah, actually, like it's I'm worried. Yeah. Like it scares me.
I get weird comments all the time. So like 2018 was my prime, right? And it's so weird to say, because was that not like 3 years ago on the app, like when it first converted? And I get comments saying, oh my God, I followed you when I was 4. Oh my God, Cassidy, I followed you when I was 5 and I just found you again. And I'm like, oh, wait a damn minute.
Transition, it's musically maybe?
Wait, 2018?
I'm just thinking like how young the kids would have. That's so scary. Like, wow.
Like, yeah.
How did you react to that? Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Continue. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Just like, I was just weirded out. I'm like, really? You were on Musical.ly and TikTok when you were 4, and now you're like 7, and you're still watching? I appreciate the loyalty, but it's weird to me, because I really don't want like toddlers being loyal to me just dancing on a camera. It's a weird concept to me, and I'm just like, you are so young. Who gave you access to the internet? And I just think, I don't know. We don't know what the internet's gonna do to like young kids in the future.
Where do you think it's gonna go? What do you think? Because I think it's just gonna get more and more. It's gonna be so easy to get on. Like you can look at like Elon's like Starlink stuff, where he's putting chips in people's brains.
Yeah.
If we're that connected, where do you think we go?
I got no clue. So I'm like weird. One thing, if you're in my personal life, you will know that my whole existence is an ambivalent struggle, because since I was in grade 8, I've always said I don't like the internet and I don't like social media. Truthfully, I think it brings a lot of good, but it also brings a lot of harmful effects, because we're like the lab rats for this new technology. And I love dystopian too. Like I love like the idea of like a cool future where there's like chips put in people's brains and like flying cars and like more jobs online for people, like the world becoming completely like technology ridden. I think that's interesting, but it also like scares me. And I just think that like nowadays or in the future, a lot more value, and we can even see it now, a lot more value is going to be placed on your presence online. Like the difference between like some people getting a job would be like, oh, this person has 100 followers on Instagram, but this person has 5,000 followers and they post every day, like just for like regular jobs. I feel like that'll definitely come into play. And like, I think younger kids are going to start becoming millionaires in the future, because now like parents can like literally, if they wanted to, like I'm just thinking now, I would not do this because it's like unethical. I'd be a terrible parent. But I could just think, imagine me now and like 20 years from now, I could be like, yeah, little Cassidy, I was an influencer in my day. Now I made so much money when I was younger and I want my daughter to be an influencer. So I'm going to start making her make videos when she's like 11. I'm going to start putting her in makeup. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like now, like, I just feel like influencers are going to be used to do more harm than good, because it's not going to be an organic thing that happens anymore. Like my growth was organic. I never planned to be an influencer. A lot of these other influencers never planned to be like what they are now, that huge. But I just think that like now it's going to be calculated, which makes it inorganic. You know, it's going to be like a marketing ploy, if that makes any sense.
No, it actually makes total sense, because you can even look at it like who is that one kid? He did toys. He was a little kid. He was like 8, but they started doing it when he was like 4. And they
toy
just
tester?
Yeah, it was like one of the little kids. He was a toy tester and he makes like $38 million a year. Something outrageous, something completely like life-changing money a year. And his parents just like gave him toys. They would buy him any toy at the store and just have him open it on camera, and it would get millions of views. And then it sparked more and more kids and their parents to start doing these different things. And then you go, where does this go from here? Do people like on the most extreme level, do parents just have kids to use them as a social media object? Which seems scary, but you look at dance moms, you look at like Honey Boo Boo, look at back in the day, Honey Boo Boo, goddamn, I forgot.
Oh my God, so long ago.
Yeah, but you look at all those kids and you go, it's slowly already happening. I'm worried to see where, on a digital level, where it can really extend to.
Yeah, and even like with Toddlers and Tiaras, Honey Boo Boo, then it was a camera crew following them around.
Yeah.
Right? And camera crews thrive off of having like dramatic moments if a kid's having a breakdown. But online, since it's so private and you can control when you can turn on the camera and you can edit the shit out of your life. Imagine having a kid and like they're not happy, and then like you can just like edit all the good parts in. That's the scary thing. Like there's not a crew following you around like it was on TV. So like it's like Honey Boo Boo on steroids. That could be the future.
Yeah, I think it could be. I'm thinking it gets to a point where people just live stream their entire life.
That's been done.
I know some people have done it. There was a streamer house there. I used to watch them. It was like these guys would play video games, but they had cameras in every room of their house, so you could see if they went to the washroom and were sleeping. And they did cycles. Super strange thing to watch. And you're like, whoa! But imagine how many more people are going to be doing the 24/7 live stream of their life on, say, TikTok does it. 360 cameras in every room. You can opt in.
That's scary.
They're trying to do that with football. They're trying to say like you can, if it like fan votes control the team. Like XFL is trying to do something like that. Someone does it with their life.
That's like running like a social experiment, but not like with no purpose.
With no end.
No end, no purpose.
Material gain, right? The
purpose is entertainment and money.
That's so sad that we got to this level. Like as a world, really, like we're so far deep into wanting to have the Gucci backpack, the Louis Vuitton shoes, and some beautiful Dior clothes. Like everybody had nice stuff and all, but like, come on, just get them on clearance. You don't gotta buy them full price.
No, it's I saw a YouTube video on a commentary YouTuber that I follow. I don't really remember their name, but it was like why people don't like flex culture anymore. Some still do, but like remember
like the Supreme era? Remember the Supreme sweaters?
Supreme era.
Yeah.
Influencers would be like flexing on people with like their Supreme, Louis Vuitton, like the Kardashians, for example. They always flex on people. But now that we're like in a different state of world, like different,
Yep.
you know, the pandemic and everything, like people hate seeing like TikTokers on vacations. Like they're flexing on us, and before we'd be like, oh my god, like they're in the Bahamas, I want to be like them, like I want to have that expensive bag, I want to have those clothes. But now it's different because we're like, we don't get the privilege of doing this. Like we can't go to the Bahamas because we're in a pandemic, but you can. And you know, like before we kind of ate up flex culture, but I feel like now we're coming like collectively conscious and like aware that like material things matter, but not as much as before.
I really get that actually. That makes tons of sense to me. Where it's slowly faded away because people saw it for so, like if you're just shown something, you're shown diamonds and beautiful things for so long, you get to the point where you want those things, right? And you try and follow that kind of path, but then you get to the point where you're like, I currently can't achieve that. So then you feel depressed and you get in this sad cycle. And then it's just completely flipped on everybody that was doing that like total flex culture thing, right? Now they're the bad guys because they're being kind of narcissistic and like ego driven, right?
Exactly. Like people see them in a different light for what they're doing. And I feel like every person has been affected by flex culture. I know I have too. Like I'm just like in my videos, I'm like, I feel like I have to wear Adidas, or like I gotta like throw in like a Louis bag in there. I don't, but I'm like, oh, like I saw someone doing this in their video, and people were like commenting like, oh, I love your bag, oh, I love your shirt, and I'm like, I should go buy that right now. And it's funny because last year I was actually a victim of that in the hype post, right? Addison Rae wore like an outfit. It was like a skirt and like a shirt. It was from some brand, right? And I was like, damn, I wanna wear her. So what did I do? I bought it. And I felt so ashamed of myself. I'm like, I am my own person. And here I am consuming. Sometimes I get hard on myself. I'm like, I am like a consumer as well. We're all consumers. I'm like consuming this narrative and lifestyle of what I should buy. Like I should buy this expensive set. It was like $150 what Addison Rae was wearing. I shouldn't have bought that. I didn't need to get that.
Buyer's regret.
Exactly. But I just felt like I needed to have the next best thing.
Yeah.
But I didn't. I did not.
Do you have like a favorite type of creator? Like is there, you mentioned Addison Rae, and that's just kind of, she's a huge influencer, so it's kind of hard to say she's your favorite. But is there a certain group of people, YouTube, anywhere on social media that you really like, that you like, these guys are going to be the next big thing kind of?
It's a good question. I don't think. Honestly, no. Like, I like watching people that I know personally, or like my mutuals TikToks. But I wouldn't say I have a favorite in a sense. Not on YouTube. I don't watch YouTube a lot. I scroll on TikTok, but I don't have a favorite there. And then on Instagram, I don't really. I try to focus more on creating more than consuming, because I feel like sometimes consuming so much media hours on end is like bad for me. And I feel like my energy personally, given my situation, like my energy would be done better creating rather than idolizing. Like I'm sure there's some people that have had phases of like liking watching, but like none where it's to a point where I'm like, oh yeah, like I'm a fan of this person, I watch them. I will say though, I do like Avani. She's like a popular mainstream one. But she has like an IG TV show where she just talks to different creators, almost like your podcast, you know. She talks to different creators about like what they've gone through, or like where they're headed. And I think that's interesting to me, because I feel like that applies to me, like it's something that I want to do. But yeah, what about you? Do you have any favorites?
For me, Casey Neistat actually just came back, kind of. He's like my biggest like inspiration of like creative stuff, like film wise, because sometimes I like to do my vlogs other than my podcast. But then like podcasts, I love like a bunch of stand-up comedians. Like Tom Segura's hilarious. Him and Bert Kreischer, they do this show called Two Bears, One Cave. And it's just two buddies that are both stand-up comedians, and they just talk with each other, and they like it's so funny because it's just like a conversation you'd have with your friends. Because like they're just saying stuff, and like sometimes they have to beep it out because they're like, oh, we can't actually say that, and you're like, oh, okay, it's because it's real and it's like actually genuine. And you're just like, wow, I like to get to that level where you can just like make stuff and you make hundreds of thousands of dollars off of it because it's millions for them. But wow, like that's stuff. Where do you want to go? Like, what's the goal for you? You want a TV show? Do you want your own channels?
Me?
Yeah. Do you want your own dance company? I don't know. Beauty line,
gosh.
makeup. Yeah, let's start dreaming. That's my favorite part of this show.
Dreams. Okay. I'd like to, so I'm in business, right? There's so much that you can do with the degree. I want to start my own like curly hair care brand. I feel like that'd be so, I feel like that'd be like a good thing for me. Like I'd have my image and brand backing it, but like I'd want to create like a really good line of like curly hair products for like different kinds of hair textures. Like just something different. Like I'd have to bring something different to the game. So that'd be it, like curly hair product business, right? That's like a big goal. I look to JoJo Siwa for a lot of inspiration with her
she is a savage. No lie, people trash talk her, and I'm honestly appalled at how whoa.
I have been a stan. I've been posting about how much I love JoJo Siwa for 3 years now, and I always caught flack on it, but I'm like, look, she's an amazing businesswoman.
Amazing.
She like her bows,
the branding on that girl.
Her branding.
Yeah.
She like literally like does covers. She has her own car. Kids love her. She's a good influence. Like
my younger cousins, like, they had a JoJo Siwa birthday.
Exactly. That sounds so fun.
Insane.
Like so, like she, I don't know, something not JoJo Siwa. I don't want to be JoJo Siwa, but
just
I want like
too many rainbows.
Yeah, just a bit too much rainbows. And then that's like my main goal. Obviously,
that's a strong goal though. Like that is like actually golden. Like that's a plan that you could pull off effectively.
I could do.
You can do it tomorrow. Start tomorrow. Start a couple of names. 9mm curlies or something, like something to do competitive.
9mm. Integrate them together.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that's the main thing. And then with my degree, like I don't know if I want to start like a different kind of business. I always have like being a dentist in the back of my head, but I think I'm just gonna go with like the real passion in life right now, which is like just like online. There's like literally like it's the future. It's an unpredictable future, but that's really the goal of what I want to do, and maybe become a socialite in LA. Like that'd be so fun. Imagine just like having like just a socialite lifestyle. Where, like you just
as soon as you said that, I thought of the sparkling water alcohol drink.
Ooh.
It's just like water, it's sparkling water with like vodka or something and like flavor. I was like, what is that? But that would be kind of interesting. I don't think that's my cup of tea because I'd like to, I don't know. I think this socialite thing is an interesting spot though, especially for a creative person, and just like to always have that kind of presence with you, and it would just be super easy to make content in that wise. And then you just expand your brand. Because you look at like Ryan Reynolds, solid Canadian dude, proud of him. Aviation Gin, and now he owns a network company. Like he owns Mint Mobile. So yeah, you can instead of Bell or Telus, you can just hop on Mint Mobile, which is his thing. I think it's only in the States, but still. And then he just started a massive like advertising industry. So he's gonna be I'm gonna say a billionaire soon. I'm betting on it.
And everything, man.
He's amazing, bro. He's a crazy guy.
Take a page out of his book. Just do it all. Like once you have one thing, move on to something similar. Yeah.
Well, fame is the easiest. It's what one of my buddies, Jordan Kale, says this all the time, and he has no business background. He high school in college right now. He has no business background, but he says it, and it's so true. It basically the premise of what he says is that once you have money or once you have fame, money comes easy, and I feel that's a fairly common thing to say. But as soon as you have a solid following and like kind of a cult following, you're gonna have people throwing money at you for no reason.
Exactly. I think that's really true. That's smart of him to say, because I just think like a lot of influencers now, like you have like a unwritten, not personally myself because I'm not that big, but you have
Mhm.
like an unwritten like power and presence. It's really weird. And I
Mhm.
feel like it can be abused. But like literally if you want to like eat somewhere, you can be like, yo, like I'm this person at Cool Guy
Yo.
13. I'll give you guys a shout out on my IG. I got like 3 million on IG and like give me my meal for free. And like some places will do that. Like they will. Or like you can get like your entire wardrobe for free. So like yeah, I like
That would be
your point.
nice. That would be
Yeah,
real nice. I would be a socialite for free clothes.
exactly. I just think your point of like once you have fame, money comes easy, people are throwing money at you. Um, I think that happens. But yeah, more so a socialite in like a sense that like collaborating with other known people. Like
Brands and
not an
people,
old
yeah.
old school, like just because I feel like that's how you get places now. Any point in your life, it's always connections, like who you know, networking.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's more of like socialite in a sense of like hanging out with other people doing the same thing as me. So like if I had
Mm-hmm.
like if I had a curly hair care business, I would surround myself with like different people that use curly hair products and that have a
Yeah.
presence online.
Yeah.
So then like I'd have them like, oh, here we have at someone using this product or
Oprah.
like yeah, just
Oprah's
surrounding
just
yourself
chilling
with
with you. Oprah's like, oh, we're gonna have
Oprah.
Cassidy. Yeah, we'll just pick Oprah. Because she's got the Meghan Markle thing. That was just fresh in my mind. But like that's
I still have to watch that.
I haven't watched it either. I just know it seems
Yeah,
crazy and it's kind of like
I've
not
seen clips.
shocking. I feel like
Yeah,
if you're going to the leader of an empire that like conquered all of the world, it might be
exactly.
a little
I
colonial.
like not surprised,
Not at
not
all,
surprised
no.
at all. I'm just surprised that Harry and Meghan actually said something. Good on
Yeah, that
them.
was ballsy.
I didn't expect that.
There's which yeah, it's nice to see portrayal. So like it had to get to that level, which is just sad. Um, but yeah, it's weird. That's the one thing. Wait, wealth can be great. Maybe you have all the fame in the world and you can get all the money you want, but it doesn't bring you happiness. That's the best
You
thing.
know, there's two sides to every story.
Hmm. That's scary though.
Exactly.
That's a crazy thing.
Hmm.
That's a good
I'm
goal
just
though. I like it. I'm happy for you. I want to see.
yeah,
I can't wait to see
I'm
where you
just
go with
going
this.
with the wind, but school first, honestly.
Hmm.
I'm thinking I gotta work now, gotta pass, gotta get through
Hmm.
um school this year and for the next 3 years to
Tell me about it. Tell me about it. I got a little bit left, and I'm so excited.
yeah.
Yeah, well, the semester ends for me in April, and then I move into my first house rental property, which is gonna be exciting. Big,
No way.
yeah, it's gonna be
Congratulations.
fun. You have to come to Ottawa. Um,
Yeah. Wait, Ottawa?
yeah, I'm in Ottawa.
That's where I want to go after I'm done school here. I forgot that you're in Ottawa.
Yeah,
That's like my dream city.
downtown. Yeah, it's pretty sick. It's a fun
Yeah.
city. It's a fun city now, but like early in the summer, well, not as fun, but early in the summer, it was so much fun. Beautiful outside, nice weather. Everything was kind of open. It's a great city. You'll like it. Why do you want to come to Ottawa?
I feel like it's like the perfect city because I wanted to move to LA. Then I was like, no, I don't want to go to America.
Yeah.
Um, given all the stories that happen in LA. Then I was like, I want to move to Toronto because it's a big like entertainment hotspot, but it's too expensive.
It's brutal. Even
Even
Ottawa's expensive.
yeah. And then I was like, okay, I have family in Montreal and the East Coast, like all my
Hmm.
family's there. So I was like, all right, well, Ottawa is like right between Toronto and Montreal. So
Hmm.
like it's very like I like its location. That's what I like about it. Its
It's a good spot.
location. Like I
It's
could
a train ride for me to get to Toronto or Montreal.
exactly. So that's what I like about it. It's just its location is convenient and like it's not too big, I've heard, but it's also bigger than where I am now.
It feels, yeah. So like for me, it feels small knowing Toronto very well. But
Yeah.
then you're also like, it's not, it's like double the size of where I'm from, Hamilton. So it's like, it's still nice, but it's also like, whoa, it's a big city. And once you see like Parliament at night and the lights are on and it just looks cool, you're
Ooh,
like,
that'd be cool.
ooh, yeah, it's a great place. I think you'll like it.
That'd be cool. So like in your new house that you're renting, is it just you alone or are you gonna have roommates?
No, so I'm living with my roommate that I have now, and then one of our buddies that we met here, which is gonna be fun.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That'll be really fun.
It's going to be an interesting change because then because normally it's meal plan food, which is university food is a little
Can you
gross.
cook?
I can cook, yeah. I had a
Oh,
cooking
good.
show. I had a cooking show for 2 episodes, mind you.
No way. I didn't know this.
Carson Cooks or whatever it was, Cooking with Carson, something silly. I got to do it again. It was jokes.
What did you make on it for like the
I
2
did.
episodes?
What I did was we used to order these things called Chef's Plate, which is like they
Okay.
send you prepackaged food, all the vegetables, all the meats, everything you need, and then they give you a recipe card. And then I
Like
would make,
HelloFresh.
it's exactly HelloFresh. It's just the Canadian, like Ontario version of it. And
Yeah.
I just cooked like 2 of those, and it's so difficult trying to film a video and cook because you're like, oh, I got to get this cool angle. I don't know how Binging with Babish does it. He is
Yeah.
just amazing because it's just like all these different angles. You're trying to like film a food, but then I ended up burning it on my the second video. I just ruined the food, and it was just like supposed to be this nice like Korean dish. Ooh, it was bad. But first time
She
around,
tried.
yeah, it was a funny video because I cut the onions and I started crying. I was like, oh, what is happening? But yeah. Well, Cassidy, I thank you so much for coming on. This is
For
awesome.
having me.
We needed to do this so bad.
I know. I mean, I thought it was my time coming. I was like, when is Carson gonna hit me up to be on his podcast? Like, who else have you had on here?
A lot of just people I find super interesting. Jake Sim was one of the hardest to get, most interesting. Actually, I wouldn't say even most interesting. Just a really cool, down to earth guy. He was in It, and kind of the actor background. I had a couple other. I had Jade. I think that she was on. Early on, I did a bunch of my friends, some business people. Early on, like the 3rd episode I did with a genius, pretty much. She like does research. She's pretty much a scientist. I think she's a rocket scientist. That's not what she does, but she's a rocket scientist in my eyes. She's a super interesting person. And just people I find interesting. And a lot of the time I can't find a guest, or I'm just like kind of breaking down myself. So that's what I'm doing.
Oh, well, it's been a pleasure.
Yes, thank you so much.